Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my sewing room. This episode is episode 24. Can you believe it? Of Quilting 101 Back to the Basics. And I hope that along the way, this collab that I put together with several other content creators, you're learning tips, tricks, and strategies that you'll move forward with into your quilting or sewing adventures. So I'd like to personally, we're halfway there now, reach out and give each one of them a special shout out. And I hope that you have been following along or joining this journey. So first out of the box, when we kicked it off, I have Heather. And everybody knows her as the debt-free quilter. Then I have Sean, the guy who sews. Brenda, conquering Mount Scrapmore. Amy of Amy Devent, Donnell of Donnell Stitchery, Tracy, but he needs no introduction, Tasha of Tasha Quilts, Becca of Sew Becca, Kelly of Kelly's Crafts, Zaza, I just love her. Then we have Adam of Adam Sews, and then myself. So as you can tell, that's 12 different creators that came forward and said, you know what, this is a good idea. It gives us a chance to hone our teaching skills as well as you to flip in to all of our drop-down boxes for the Quilting 101 Back to the Basics videos and watch them in order. And hopefully you're learning something along the way. So I know, on April the 1st, and this is no joke, this is not an April Fool's joke, Heather, the debt-free quilter, she did the 9 patch. But I'm going to do my 9 patch with a twist. So let's come on down to the table and I'll show you what I mean. So our blocks for this project needs to come out unfinished 10.5. So with that being said, I chose this, as you can tell, it is scrap fabric, and this is going to go into said quilt. All of the creators are mailing me their blocks, and I'm blown away at the ones that have sent in so far. It's different to receive them so that I'll be able to put them together. And then one of our lucky subscribers, at the end, we'll do a Google Doc. Let us, you're going to have one thing to say. Did you like this project and stick with it, or if you didn't? Gives us an idea of whether this was a hit or a miss. So if you enter, and that's all there will be to it, then you're entered into a giveaway, and you could be the one that wins the quilt in the end. Now, how cool is that? I think it was a really good idea. So anyway, you're not going to need a lot of stuff for this, because the 9 patch is pretty basic, right? You need 5 of one and 4 of another. That's going to give you your background. I was going to attempt to fussy cut this, but I'm not going to be able to, because even going to the extreme and me fussy cutting this, trust me on this one, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, it'd be fun, but I'm going to chop up this 9 patch. So going to all the trouble and going to chop it up and lose all the work I put into it anyway, I think I'll pass on it. So right now I'm just taking this off. I'm not going to do an Eleanor Burns and over this shoulder. I just throw it in the trash can. So I'm choosing this as my focus fabric. And for this, I need to make my 4-inch squares. Pretty simple. I could use my long ruler here and do this, but I just want to keep my space right here that you're going to be able to see everything I'm doing along the way. So I know I'll need to cut one more time to make sure that we have all this. So I'm going to take this little tip off here because I like to make sure that my blocks are going to be square. So we're going to do 5 4-inch square. And I could have came to the table with those all sewed up, but that wouldn't really be showing you nothing. So we're just going to streamline and get this all cut out. I do starch. Now, some people don't. I do. I don't like mine like edge of a book stiffness, but I do like them to look nice when I complete my blocks. So right there is 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more. So I'll come down here to the end and line up and just take this off the end. And we'll set this aside. So that's my 5. And then now, when I set this up with everybody, I said, let's use a white or white on white. So I just grabbed one of my whites and I keep it pretty well on hand, ready to go for any project. So I'm lined up here, so I'm pretty square, and I only need 4 of these. So let's get this puppy in. Now set this aside. I really hope that you guys are enjoying this. I'm telling you what, it's been a blast for all of us. All the creators are enjoying it so much, and I hope that you're really learning some new skills. In the comments of each of our videos, if you learned something from one of the creators, please let them know. It means the world that they're on the right track, you're understanding what they're trying to teach you, demonstrate, whatever the case may be. So we'll slide this aside because I don't need it now. So let's get this block tentatively laid out the way that I'm going to choose to do this. And I want the bird in the middle. I know I'm going to chop it up. I know I'm going to, but it'll be all right. It will survive. So how's that looking? I think it's going to look pretty sweet myself. They're pretty simple in theory, right? So let's get this puppy done, and I'll show you what we'll do next. So this is going to go relatively fast, and then I'll see you back at the table. But all you're going to do is, remember, lower your stitch length if you've been like sewing at a higher one, because that's very important. So I'll go back and restitch mine just to make sure that, yeah, now it's where I want it. I changed my stitch length a lot with different projects, and I need to remember also, I need to check that. So we're just going to basically streamline this in. And I'm just going to leave them hooked together. That way, there's no chance of me messing this up. What do you think? Pretty good idea, right? I think so myself. I learned this technique off Tiffany over Tiffany's Quilting Life. It's called web piecing. You're getting everything lined up. You're able to sew all of your blocks and not worry about taking them apart or getting your orientation of them messed up. I think that's pretty cool, the way that she did it. So it's just one more little tip now that I'm sharing with you guys that I learned from her. So make sure that you do slip over to Tiffany's Quilting Life as well. She's got a barrel of techniques over there to share with everybody as well. And anytime you come to my channel and I've learned something along the way from someone else, trust me, I'll be definitely telling you, because that's what we do. Together we sew, together we grow. And I firmly believed in that. So now, see, you can do this and nothing's going to happen. So on the top, I like to finger press it that way. Now on the center, I bring it back towards myself. That way you're going to be able to nest these without any issues at all. Now here I will just slide this over to my ironing board. Little tiny ironing station. And these are laying out really sweet right now. And I think it's the way I starch that makes that happen. So now all I'm going to do is same technique, and this helps keep them lined up. It's just fold it in on itself, and you can peek inside and get that small nest. As you're going to be able to see right here, this one's going one way and this one's going the next. And this is how you're going to learn to get those sharp blocks. They're going to turn out amazing. And I'm a firm believer. Once you learn a technique, shout it from the rooftops. Share it with everybody because it's fun. And who wants to sit and read books all the time on how to do something? It's funner when we're doing it together, right? So anytime you see something fun you want me to learn, give me a holler. I'd definitely give it a go. I just want to make sure this nest up. I'm not pinning. I'm just throwing a little clip in there. And that way I can pull with the top. And just like this, lickety split, this block is almost done, right? No. Now the fun begins. This is where we're going to get creative. Now you can opt to take your fabric and push it one way or the other. Since this is a center block, I do want to open that seam. And you'll see why here in just a moment. But I'll just run my finger up this seam because I like everything to nest well. And we're going to be cutting this up and putting it back together again. I know. Doesn't make a lick of sense, right? You'll see how cool this is. We've all seen the 9 patch. We've all seen the 9 patch disappearing, right? But this is going to be kind of like that, but with a twist. With the 9 patch, you can make it however you wish. You can have your lights on the outside, inside, whatever you wish. That's the key, whatever your wish is. And I think that's pretty cool. So let me slide this out of the way. Now see how nice and tidy that looks? Love it. So I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to line this up because I do not want this to flip on me at all. And I want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. So right here, we know my block is like 10 1/4. So we want to cut at 5 1/2, dead center. So line up here. And yes, this is the Fallon ruler. And this helps me more often than you could imagine. And this is how simple this block is. It's relatively easy to do. Then you're just going to come back dead center again. And we're going to line up. And you're going to slice it in half again. And how cool is that, right? I just think this is one of those fun ones. So you can lay these blocks any way you want. The sky is the limit. You could put them this way. You could put one this way and one this way. And do the center like this. And how cool is that? Every way, this kind of looks like the card trick block. But every way you lay this out, you're going to get a different look. So like say we want this way. And this is the time to show you just fun little twist along the way. Different ways that we can do this. And I want to turn this way. I want this one to be like a fan. There. Now see, the sky is the limit with this particular block. And that's why it's called the Disappearing 9 patch. A block that is so easy to do, has so many different ways that you can lay it out. Now, how cool is that? I think it's pretty stinking cool. So I particularly like it like this. I just think that kind of gives you a little bit more. So all you're going to do is sew this together. Easy peasy. Remember, you're cutting dead center. Once like this and once like this. And that is going to create this amazing block. We're going to lay like this. Then we're going to go like this. And it's just going to be gorgeous. Here is where we go like this. Going to go like this. And we're going to go like this and just put this puppy together. And then we will square it when we're done. Bring it over here, out of the way. And then we'll square it up and you've got a beautiful block. Now here you can choose to open your seams or not. The sky is the limit on what you choose to do. But is that not so pretty? I'll take the edges, square it down, make sure I'm marking in the center. And wada bing, wada bang, we've got our next block for our sew along. So I'll get Joe to come back up here. So I hope that you like this block. Like I said, April 1st, Heather did the 9th patch. This is 9th patch with a twist. It's like the disappearing, but the sky is the limit in the way that you choose to lay your block out. The key is to make sure that you're dead center when you make your cut. So if you're starting with your blocks at 4, you need to make sure that the center block is dead center when you make your slice. And then the center on the same side. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us for Quilting 101 Back to the Basics. Please remember, tune in next week for the next artist. And give me just a second for the error of my ways. I had it right here, and I want to make sure that I'm sending you to the right channel. So give me 1 second. I should have already had it. You're going to see Sean, the guy who sews. So I already can tell you, doing a floppy disk to go with his music series. How cool is that? So you guys take care. God bless. Have a fabulous week. And please leave me a comment in the comment section below. Bye-bye, guys.